Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Last December, our FCC, or Federal Communications Commission, failed to protect us from corporate corruption. Today, I'm here to talk about net neutrality. And after you hear the facts about net neutrality, I'm sure you'll be convinced that we need to readopt this policy. So if you're out of the loop, net neutrality was a policy that forced telecom companies to follow common carrier rules. So telecom companies like Comcast or Verizon, they provide you with broadband service and internet and such. So common carrier rules are to serve upon reasonable requests without unreasonable discrimination at a just and reasonable price and with adequate care, according to Barbara Cherry on Ting.com. So I'm going to kind of explain to you how that falls into net neutrality. So can I get like a telephone company like Comcast or like Verizon or like AT&T? Okay, AT&T works. AT&T. And then can I get two pizza company names? Domino's? Pizza Hut. Those are both of the ones I use in my example for my paper. Pizza Hut. Okay, so the way this works is your company, AT&T, wires calls. When you call and you want to get a pizza, boom, your cell phone is going to be ringing to them. So what happens when you don't have net neutrality is, let's say that AT&T actually owns the Domino's franchise. Without telling you, they can basically take your call. If you're calling Domino's, you're good. They'll just give you like a direct line to them. But what happens when you call Pizza Hut is you get a delayed connection or maybe no connection at all. Your call doesn't even go through. So the companies that are holding your call, the telecom companies, are basically influencing the way you interact with how you want to do your everyday life. And that comes from just regular cell phone calls to things like on the internet, like a TV broadcast and like such. I'm going to go into that a little bit. You might be thinking, Hampton, it's chill, I can just go to Domino's, like whatever, Pizza Hut. But the corruption runs a little bit deeper than that. So Rafia Shaikh on WCCFtech.com has basically evaluated over the past 10 years 8 different major tampering events in which telecom companies were influencing the way we were perceiving media. So I'm going to talk about a few of those. In 2005, Comcast blocked internet service to the website known as BitTorrent, which, if you don't know, that's just a code swapping website that you can download information on. In 2007, AT&T censored a concert of Pearl Jam because the lead singer was saying unsavourable things about President Bush at the time on air, and they actually censored it out. And from 2011 to 2013, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Amazon all blocked access on their phones to the use of Google Wallet because they all own shares in a separate company unrelated to Google Wallet. So the way this works is now that net neutrality has been repealed by the FCC, they're able to influence the free market in ways that are not necessarily free. So I don't know about you guys, but my first thought was, wow, that's pretty scary. Hopefully the free market will take care of it. We can just get new cell phone companies, like we won't use AT&T anymore, we'll use something else. But the problem with that is the barrier for entry in this market is so tough that you can't really join it. It costs billions of dollars to set up broadband lines that can connect you to the internet, and especially in rural places, you might not have access to any other companies except maybe AT&T or Verizon or any of those other internet providers. So Susan Crawford on Wire.com points out that Google, one of the most powerful companies in America, was not even able to enter the market. It turns out that it costs billions of dollars, like I said, and also because the telecom lobbyists hold so much control in the government, they put up a bunch of red tape that doesn't allow them to move into like cities like San Francisco and like big cities like that. So now that you guys know a little bit about the dangers of repealing net neutrality, I want to give you some options about ways to think about it. So the FCC ended neutrality, but Congress is able to do something called the Congressional Review Act, or CRA, which can be used to reverse a decision by the FCC. So something you can do as a SLO County citizen, you're living here, if you're registered to vote here, you can go on carbajal.house.gov and you can write your representative. He represents us. You email him and you say, hey, like, we need to readopt net neutrality and save our internet access. Another one, if you're maybe not a voter in SLO County, you can actually go on and email our mayor, Heidi Harmon, and if you email her, you can basically ask her to boycott using federal funds for companies that don't support net neutrality. So if you want to go to contact Heidi Harmon, you go on slocity.org. Something kind of encouraging about this, you're feeling bad about people controlling our information flow, is that over 11 mayors across the U.S. have already started the boycott, according to commondreams.com. Some of these cities include New York, Austin, Texas, and San Francisco. Those are major cities, and those are really big moves, and this is kind of the direction that we want to head in. If you think SLO is too small, Santa Cruz actually did it as well. Their mayor signed a petition against the companies not supporting net neutrality. So now that you know a little bit about net neutrality and you know how we can fight for it, I want to explain to you why you should even care about this. So for starters, we're all college students, and in the next decade or so, we're all going to be starting small businesses. And what happens is, if you're trying to compete against a medium-sized company like Domino's that has the support of AT&T because they're owned by AT&T, you're not going to be able to compete with their business model because they have more direct internet connection, and it can even come down to information as for advertising. You can be blocked from advertising from several different sites. And, maybe if you're not thinking in the long term and that's hard for you to kind of conceive, I encourage you to think about the now, right now. I know all of us have Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We have all of these social medias. So what's going to happen when those social medias aren't owned by a big company like AT&T and Comcast is they're going to up the price for internet usage on that, and you're going to have to actually pay for packages that will allow you to use those. So now that you know about the dangers and you know how to help, and also that I've given you some resources to be able to do that and reasons why you should do that, I hope that you will help us help ourselves and repeal net neutrality. Yeah.